Yo, what's up, people? It's your boy. I'm Chris the Dime One, and I am back with another video. You know what you got to do: rate, comment, subscribe. Do not forget to hit the notification bell so it'll let you know when my next live stream or video goes down. Right? We're gonna be talking about Kendrick Perkins' comments on the jump, referring to Kevin Durant, and he feels like the Draymond Green incident, where Kevin Durant, Draymond Green exchanged words, and Draymond Green called him the B word and said, "B, we won without you. Leave." And basically, how that comment, and when that took place, they never got past that, and that was the reason why, Kevin Durant ultimately left the Golden State Warriors. But if you hear a lot of if you hear what's going on through social media, people also go harbor at the fact that, and I mentioned this on my live stream, how when you talk about KD, he didn't have a real good relationship with Steve Kerr. Earlier in the week, late last week, there was some articles floating around that suggest that, he didn't have a real good friendship, kinship with Steph Curry. And I explained to you guys the different dynamics and the different ways they sort of move, because Steph Curry was more of a family man who's married, and at the time Kevin Durant was more so of a bachelor. And when you, I'm not gonna make this video any long, but when you're still single, it's kind of hard to keep your relationship with someone who's now married to someone. And normally when a dynamic happens like that, you either, you still be friends, but you just don't hang around that individual as much as you used to. But that's neither here nor there. I don't want to make this video any longer than, I'm trying to keep it under 10 minutes. But you kept hearing a lot of stuff about, Kevin Durant had issues. He felt like the fan base as well as the organization didn't put respect on his name. The owner, when he made that lame joke talking about Steph Curry is a lifer, after they won the championship, I believe it was last year or the year before last, and that kind of rubbed KD the wrong way. Then you talk about the Draymond issue, the Steve Kerr issue, and he felt like, he didn't get enough validation on when they won the 2 championships with KD. And to be truthful, he was the most valuable player, and he was the main focal point and the main reason why they won those championships. Okay, and you would think that would have been enough validation for KD, but that simply wasn't. And KD, to me, is one of those type of individuals where you have to remind him daily how important he is, what he means to you, and you really have to keep your communication circles tight with KD. Always letting him know. He comes across as a person that you have to tell him daily how important is he, what he means to you, and you have to establish a relationship with him where you're always constantly around him. And in the beginning stages, that could be doable, but as time goes on and on and on, it can be a hindrance. It can be an issue. I mean, how long can you put up a front where you have to constantly tell somebody how important they are? After a while, it gets kind of difficult, particularly when you have your own life to live, or you have other responsibilities to other people. But he comes across that type of person. But when you look, if you look at the issue with him and Draymond, who recruited KD, basically called him over the phone and said, "Yo, dog, we need you here to get us over the hump in beating the Cleveland Cavaliers. You're the main ingredient that we're missing." And he felt validation from that. Stephen A. Smith talked yesterday how numerous people that's around KD basically said, look, and this was back when he was a free agent, he basically informed Russell Westbrook and Oklahoma City Thunder that he was going to remain with the team. And then when he had a meeting with Golden State, and they showered him with love and this unconditional love, KD changed his mind and said, "I want to go with I'm gonna rock the Golden State Warriors," which is fine and dandy. You're a free agent, but I felt like there was a couple of steps he took that if he had to do it all over, do it in a different way. It's okay to change your mind, but then you need to go inform your old team as well as your teammates. Hey, look, I know I said I was gonna roll with you guys, but after that meeting with Golden State, man, they blew me away, and I done changed my mind, and I'm fixing to go to the Golden State Warriors. He didn't inform the organization. He didn't contact his lifelong brother. Not he's not a real brother, but they've been playing for so long, which is Russell Westbrook. And Russell Westbrook felt kind of betrayed. He didn't even give him a text or phone call or anything. So when I feel like KD is the type of individual that you have to shower him with love, and he's also the same type of individual that don't want to keep it a stack, don't want to keep it a buck, kind of want to keep things, he doesn't want to appear to be the bad guy or the person that has to get or deliver or tell someone some bad news. He's always the type of person where and a lot of people think he's people can't assume that he's sensitive, but I feel like it's the way I don't want to go into details about his personal life, but I really do feel like the lack of a father in your life, I feel like your father would develop, if you have a real man, a real father in your life, I felt like, if he had someone in his life, a father, he would probably, identify these things. That, hey, look, this is not how men, this is not how men roll. Okay. You have to, man up and, tell people how you feel. And, if you tell someone one thing, you have to, and if you feel differently about it, you have to step up to the plate and tell them, look, I told you this, but I changed my mind. I'm going to do that. And which a mother, I know a lot of people are going to say, well, his mother can develop that too. But I really think, and being a single parent is really hard. It's really rough. A single parent mother, a single parent dad, it is extremely hard to raise your kids. Okay. But I felt like, but I also feel like you have to have both of those dynamics in raising kids. You have to have the father and you have to have the mother, because there are certain things a mother knows that a father don't. when raising a young when raising young kids, uh, a boy or female, and vice versa. There are certain things that a mother don't know that a father would know. And you have to have both of them in your life to raise them the best way possible. And being a parent is already hard enough, but being a single parent, it is extremely hard. Okay. And I'm not sitting up here saying that maybe Kevin Durant didn't want his father in his life, or the mother didn't want. I don't know all the nuances to that, but I feel like the way how he's moving, I felt like this would have been corrected a long time ago if he would have had a father in his life. But back to the Draymond issue. Draymond, when he knew KD was gone. Okay, so basically, Draymond, just let it all hang out. He released the filter. He gave this facade of kind of putting the real him in the background. But when he knew KD was gone, and a lot of people speculated there's a possibility that with or without the championship, KD was going to be gone anyway. So basically, he questioned it, and basically K and it really blew up, sort of say, when uh when Kevin Durant wanted to push the ball. He wanted to do something different, and that's what really transpired into this argument on the bench, where he called him the B word, and basically said, B, we won without you, we'll win one without you. And that spiraled into something else. And I feel like this is not all KD on that issue right there. That's not KD's fault. That's more so of Draymond's fault. You know even if you feel like he's going to leave, okay, you know you should respect it and honor it, okay. But at the same time, I feel like if they would have just let things play out, even though if he felt like he was going to leave, and if they would have let things played out, it would have been a possibility he would have changed his mind again, like he did with when he chose the Golden State Warriors. Remember, he already had said in his mind he was going to return to the Oklahoma City Thunder. And when he had that meeting with the Golden State Warriors, he changed his mind. Okay, so he's an individual that once he sets foot on something, there's a possibility that he can change his mind and go completely left the other way. But as far as how as far as how he handled it, to me, he's always saying it's someone else's fault why things are not how they're supposed to be. You know, he's already blaming the organization. That's he basically said that's one of the reasons, that's the reason why he left. And that he left to go to State Warriors because of the organization. He felt like the organization didn't respect him enough. He felt like the fan base didn't respect him enough. But KD, you have to understand that these fans did not grow up cheering for you. I mean, not grow up, but you wasn't really technically there day one. Okay, I think another problem with KD is he wanted to be loved more than Steph and Klay Thompson and Draymond Green, and that's the core base of this team. Okay, you know, hell, this team saw Andre Iguodala, even though he was traded to the Golden State Warriors, and it took a long, long time until they gave him gratification. Okay, because he's not really one of theirs. Okay, so if you really wanted a fan base that's going to love you more, so to say, you should have stayed with the Oklahoma City Thunder. And I talked about this briefly on my last live stream. KD is one of those type of individuals that wants to be loved. Okay, but when you make a decision like that, you have to be a realist. You have to understand and be aware of your surroundings, sort of say that, if you make a decision going to the Golden State Warriors, and it was already it was already hard enough to beat this team. Now you're joining a team that that was already hard to beat, and now you make them unbeatable. You have to realize and understand, when you make that decision, there are consequences and repercussions of that decision. So, of course, basketball fans are not going to like it. Of course, the media is not going to like it. Of course, social media is not going to like your decision. Okay, so and ever since he signed with the Golden State Warriors, he's always defending that decision. He's been defending that decision ever since he signed with the Golden State Warriors. Okay, and you have to understand and be aware of, when you make a decision like that, there are consequences and repercussions. Not everyone's going to agree with your decision, but it is your decision. Everyone in life make decisions their based on their viewpoint. You should never make a decision to make everyone happy, because you're not going to make everyone happy. And Kevin Durant has this false sense, this delusion that he can make everyone happy. And you should make yourself happy. And then if everyone else is happy with your decision, fine and dandy. But he comes off as that person. As far as the Draymond Green issue, I feel like that could have been easily handled if Draymond Green would immediately apologize. But then he made excuses why he didn't want to immediately apologize. He wanted to wait until things calmed down, which, hindsight being 2020, I felt like that was the wrong route to go. I feel like if you really want him there, but first of all, you have to realize that you was wrong. And I feel like Draymond Green wanted to calm down. He wanted to wait until things calmed down, because he felt like in the back of his mind that he was right and he was vindicated for what he said. Okay, so I felt like if you really want him there, and if you really care about him, and if you really feel like he's the part of the team, you should have sacrificed even your belief just to run up to him and say, "Hey, I apologize. I shouldn't have said that. I said it in a heat of anger, a heat of rage. I really do feel like you're going to leave us, and I feel kind of betrayed." And la da 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 da. Okay, so even though I don't think that would have been 100% shot of him staying, but he would have probably kept that in the back of his mind. Okay, but he was going to leave anyway. I felt like Kevin Durant was going to leave. He was just trying to find excuses why to leave. It's just simply just saying, "Look, I want to leave. It's my opinion, it's my decision." I feel like ultimately Kevin Durant, after 2 years of actually playing with the Brooklyn Nets, and they really don't go nowhere. They really, there's a lot of teams in the East that they matchup wise are going to have huge issues with, because the Philadelphia Sixers, they're younger, but they're getting better. Okay, the Toronto Raptors, if they get Kawhi Leonard, they're going to be better. Okay, the Milwaukee Bucks are learning through their lumps in the road. Guess what? They're going to get better. Okay, and I think just those teams alone, they're going to have a hard time dealing with them. I feel like the Indiana Pacers, the moves that they made, they're getting better. The Miami Heat with Jimmy Butler, they're going to add more players, but they too are getting better. Okay, I think offensive wise, they're a good 1-2 punch, Kawhi Leonard and Kyrie Irving. But when you look at these two guys, one is coming off of an Achilles injury, which means he can probably re-aggravate it again. He's already got a laundry list of health problems with his legs. So you're going to have to do the load management type of approach, where he's not going to be able to play all 82 games. And we look at Kyrie Irving, he never played all 82 games. He's always been consistently injured. And I feel like, they're not going to establish a lot of chemistry together, because they're not going to spend a lot of time on the floor together. Okay, so they're going to try to learn how to feed off of one another. And then two, what else you gonna put around them? I mean, you got a young cast, but they haven't been proven. Okay, so Kendrick Perkins, what he said, I felt like that's one of a many. That's one of a billion excuses he was going to utilize for his reasoning of leaving the Golden State Warriors. But he was going to lead the Golden State Warriors day one when the NBA season started. He was already, he was already on that mindset and in that decision. Now, he's indecisive, and just because he thinks one way doesn't necessarily mean he's going to go another way. That's always a possibility when you're dealing with KD. But I also feel like KD is searching for gratification. He's searching for unconditional love. And, Brooklyn could be a cruel place. It could be a cruel place. When you're winning and everything is fine and dandy, the media is going to love you. You're going to eat the fans, you're going to have the fans eating out of your hands, so to say. But but when you start losing and you don't meet their expectation, that media base is going to be savage on Kevin Durant. They're not going to hold things back like they did in Oklahoma City. When they had one journalist in Oklahoma City that made an article about Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant didn't like it, and they immediately apologized. They had to fall back and apologize because Kevin Durant was the big fish in the small pond. With the Golden State Warriors, they didn't have a lot of losing streaks. Okay, as long as you had that core. You're not going to experience no 7-game, 8-game losing streaks as long as you got Draymond, Steph, and Klay Thompson plus yourself. Okay, so the media base and the fan base are they're gonna give you love, but they're just gonna love those guys more because those guys been there through the thick and thin, in their minds. Okay, when you go to Brooklyn, the New York media and the New York fan base, they are extremely savage. I feel like you're going to get some transplant Nick fans that are going to buy season tickets to watch you. That arena is going to be lit. That arena is going to blow up. That arena is going to be filled to the brim. Okay, but the press coverage there, they're obviously going to steal more press coverage that normally is for the Knicks. A lot of those media guys are going to go to the Brooklyn Nets. And you already got the Brooklyn media over there. Now you're gonna have transplant of the Nick or the New York Knicks media over there. You're gonna have the New York Post. You're gonna have a lot of media presence there, and they're just waiting for you to stumble. And when you stumble, they're going to attack you viciously through the papers. And I feel like Kevin Durant, he's very thin-skinned. And if he couldn't handle a 12-year-old on Twitter tweeting something about him, and for him to retweet back, if he couldn't handle that, or a YouTube comment in the comments section, I really don't think he can handle the media members. And he's going to also have to understand he's not going to have the flexibility or the power per se to control the media. He's not going to have the media falling back, sort of say. Stephen A. Smith is going to really attack him. I mean, this first year, he's going to be injured. Nobody's not going to really talk too much about Kevin Durant. They're going to sing his praises of what he did with the Golden State Warriors and things of that nature. But when he comes back, they're going to give him some leeway because he's not going to be the same Kevin Durant. Normally Achilles injury, that's a 2-year process. Okay, you don't count the year that you sit. Okay, the year that you sit and rehab it, you don't count that year. Okay, the years you count is when you finally come back on the court, and then another year of you coming back on the court. And typically, a lot of people who have that same injury, like Kobe Bryant, a lot of players like him, they're just not the same person. They just not the same person, you know. But but when you're dealing with Kevin Durant, he's more of a spot shooter, so I feel like it's not going to be a real big issue. I don't think he's going to be able to carry the ball a lot, but you don't need that when you got Kyrie Irving. So, Kyrie Irving's going to do the bulk of that stuff, which that means you're going to put more workload on Kyrie Irving, which the possibility of him getting injured again. All right. So, they're going to have him set up on the wing, and I think after that Achilles injury, I feel like he's going to be fine. But the things you are normally accustomed of seeing him doing, like being a defensive presence, floating around the midsection, getting loose ball, running for loose balls, block shots and things like that, the athletic portion of Kevin Durant, I think you're not going to see that with Kevin Durant. Not that first year, and definitely not that second year. Okay. So, we're going to have to wait and see on that angle. But, he's basically going to have a year and a half of the media, just leaving him alone. When when he got a handful of games under his belt, then they're going to really judge him, and that magnifying glass is going to be big. And I just don't think Kevin Durant, is going to be able to handle the media coverage. And, it's a 4-year deal. It won't surprise me none if he leaves the Brooklyn Nets. You know, you know, the Brooklyn has to understand something. And a lot of people sort of said when the Knicks didn't want to give him a max contract, everyone said, well, you're crazy not to do that. But remember, if he signs a 4-year deal with Brooklyn, first year, he's going to be out. Okay. Second year coming back, he's rehabbing his Achilles. So you can't really expect the old Kevin Durant back. That third year, that's when, things, he can, probably do some things. Okay. And then, that's 3 years already. You're halfway into the contract. Okay. So who really won? Okay. And, a lot of people think Brooklyn won by the free agent splash of signing Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. 3 years from now, a lot of people are going to have a totally different viewpoint and perspective of them. Okay. Well, that's all I got for today, guys. Tell me what you think. Rate, comment, subscribe. I went over the 10-minute mark. I'm looking at the time right now, but that's fine and dandy. I threw out a lot of juicy information for you guys. Please hit the like button, comment down below. It's your boy. I'm Chris, and I'm one, and I am out. Deuces.